Here's my assumption. Somebody spawns here.
Get kills with each weapon to win.
That was cancer on both of our parts, but did that 144 hertz monitor help you? Right. Here. Yeah, there is. There's also one behind me. Okay, I can moved over to you. Did I get a hit marker? I don't know. Please, somebody come through that door. Oh my god! Somebody come somewhere. God damn it, that was awful. Dude, I've just been raging the last few games, but they're actually going pretty well. I actually like really enjoy this game mode. I just like it super because it's just hardcore, dude. It's so engaging. It's probably the most engaging goddamn game mode that I have. It's freaking dope.
Damn you!
Oh, the FAL sucks! No! Dude, the FAL is so hard to use. Alright, dude. Looking at the same spot. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, the ADS speed on this gun is freaking 8. Nobody knows where I'm at. What? Come on. Man, this sucks. Don't die here. Give me a sniper. No. Okay. Fine, too, I guess. This is a bad spot. This is pretty, you don't get much traffic. You're gonna hear me. Don't hear me. Oh, sprint up. One fight. You're distracted. No, he ran away. Come back. Below me. I can't do anything about it. On behind me, please. Not right before I reload, though. Yeah. Oh, you just played right into my trap. Oh, I lived! What is this guy? High caliber shit. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty freaking great. How am I doing? Not winning. I know there's somebody around here though. There always is. Ah! Above in this cave here.
Clean kill.
Was it really? Bullshit kill. That's great. Well, what is this guy?
Enemies on the last weapon.
Really? That was alright. Please? Gun is so hard to use. Come back! Oh, that's the dude on the last weapon. Oh, his knife. Don't do it on me. Oh! Oh!
Go for the throat.
Oh no!
Enemy is defeated. You remember our name.
See, I don't get to the last weapon. You. 16 deaths. Get on my fucking level. Suck my 17 and 6 dick.
She knows.
Alright, I'm driving. Wrong.
Oh, damn.
Alright, I gotta see how this...
Jesus.
Gain the lead. Gain the lead.
Oh, my God. Oh, they have one too.
Yeah, I know they do. Oh shit, he's gonna take me out. No, it's 2-shot? What? I mean, it will probably be. It just isn't yet.
Revenge.
Oh. Oh boy. Alright, this time we're gonna do it. Mouse and keyboard. I can't do anything. Ah, no! And now I get boarded. Somebody shoot him off me.
Double kill.
And nobody shoots him off me.
Revenge.
I haven't seen one yet, so I don't know if there's one. Oh, steal their tank! I did it.
Double kill.
We'll go over there so we don't get boarded.
Well, if people show up on me, I won't get boarded. Alright.
Killing spree. Tie the leader.
Playing with controller because PC and mouse and keyboard feels super weird.
Double kill.
I've got both rocket hogs, apparently.
Killing frenzy.
Okay, dude, these guys are just camping.
Camping they may be. So am I. Oh, he almost got it.
Really no.
Double kill.
Ooh.
Triple kill.
Alright, I'm not even going to this one. Okay. It's not fun.
Oh, there's a snipe. I didn't kill him? What the hell? What?
Oh, I'd sink this one.
Game over.
We did it. 30 kill game. How about that? Wow. All right. So, for this section this week, I'm actually not going to be doing music. I'm going to be here in Photoshop. I had a buddy. I asked him if there was something that I could teach him in an Adobe product and that I would make a tutorial on it. And so here that is. The thing that he asked me to do was to show him how to change color in Photoshop, to selectively change color, and different methods in which you can do that. And of course, I don't claim to be an expert. There are many others out there who may be better at explaining it as well as doing it as me. But this is my experience, and these are some of the ways that I know how to approach this problem. And of course, along the way, hopefully I can share some of the ways of thinking about things in such a way that when you use Photoshop or an Adobe or other programs like it and other Adobe programs, maybe you can solve the problem that you wish to address. So I'm going to go ahead and start out with this flower here. There are many ways, obviously, in Photoshop to go about changing color. I'm going to show some destructive and non-destructive ways. And so we're going to start with this version of doing it. So you go ahead and you come over here and you create an adjustment layer, a hue and saturation. And that's usually how I do it. But what we're going to do specifically is choose a color. So you're going to come up to select. You're going to go to color range, right? So I have it selected to highlights right now, but I'm going to go ahead and change that to sampled colors. We're going to pull the fuzziness all the way down, and we're going to make sure that everything is deselected. So we're just going to go ahead and deselect everything. So for example, if we just want to not affect these blacks or any of these lower level tones, but we want to change this orange to maybe a more red so it's more uniform, we can go ahead and use the selective tool, kind of like a paintbrush, and select those, right? Then we're going to go ahead and hit shift, so we're adding, and then we paint like a paintbrush, and we select a lot of these oranges and brighter colors. And let's say that we really don't want any of these mid-level tones. We're going to go ahead and hit the minus. We'll go ahead and make sure that none of those mid-level tones are selected. Then one of the things we can do is increase the fuzziness a little bit, so that'll smooth out the color transition. So we have this selection made. Now we can go ahead and make that hue adjustment layer. And when we do that, it automatically applies this mask. So none of the other things that we did not select are not changed. And I'll go ahead and show you. So for example, we want to make it more red to match the rest of it. Originally they were orange. Maybe we make it something like crazy blue. All right. And then of course, any adjustments you want to make, you can still make those within the adjustment layer. It's a little rudimentary. It's not as powerful, but it does give you a little bit more selective power. One of the other things to show, of course, is going ahead and going to... So you select on the layer that you want to change, and you got to make sure that it is a smart object for this. You're going to use the camera raw filter. The camera raw filter can work on any... The camera raw filter uses this selection of windows to change color. So you're over here usually in basic, but you can come over to the HSL adjustments, and you can specifically change the way that, you know, reds or oranges, yellows or greens are handled. But of course, this is very coarse. I'm going to go ahead and show you the destructive way. Oh, that's a little preview of something coming up. I'll show you the destructive way. His jacket started this way, and I made it do this. All right, but I'll go ahead and show you how to do that from scratch. So you have his jacket here, and you're going to come up to make sure that it is... In this particular version, you have to make sure that it's actually rasterized. So we're going to go ahead and make a copy of that, and we're going to rasterize the layer. Then we're going to jump over here, and we're going to go Image, Adjustments, and then, all right, Replace Color. And then we're going to select the color of his jacket, and we're going to find that it selects a lot of values in the background, which is fine. And the reason that we would actually use this method in particular is because we can go ahead and literally change it to whatever exact color we want it to be. Which is very powerful, of course. Of course, just like the other method, you can go ahead and add the plus, and so you can paint in and get a better selection of the things that you would like. Make sure to go ahead and get all the values in here. We'll go ahead and try to take out a little bit of black, be very much blue. I like very much blue. And for example, we have a little bit more of the tan still in it, so we'll go ahead and add that. All right, so we got this crazy blue that we want, and we just want that on his jacket. However, we're going to go ahead and hit OK. What we're going to do is we're going to come over here and add an adjustment, or we're going to add a layer mask. What we would carefully do after that is paint out everything else. One of the things that you'll want to do is make sure the brush that you're using, the reason that you don't want your brush fully maxed out is because one of the things you'll find, and as you're painting through, you'll get more selective later. But the thing is that we understand that his jacket here actually does, light will come in, it'll get diffused by the jacket, and it'll go back into the environment. So part of the environment is going to be changed by the changing hue of his jacket, right? But the first thing that we would do is we would carefully paint out, you know, all the spots that we didn't necessarily want. And I'm not going to do this very cleanly. But for example, we know that his shadow will be casting a little bit of that blue. So one of the things we'll go in is, even though we don't want it to be too blue, so we'll go ahead and take away some of that, right? But that way, once, you know, you put him in the scene, you get this painted out carefully and closely. His blue actually fits into the scene better and is completely realistic. So I did a little bit of a better painting job over here. I left in a little bit of the highlights in this version because I liked the way that they rolled off to that color change in between the purple to the brown, and I think his jacket looks really cool. And the reason you do that, of course, is because you get really fine control over this color. You can make it exactly what you want. There is an even better way. So for example, we have this car here, but the original actually looks like this. And not create a vector mask, create a new adjustment layer. All right, so we have this wonderful car here. We want to take this blue and we want to turn it into whatever we want it to do. So one of the things that we come over here is we hit this button right next to the master, and we select, we want to try to select the median range of this car. So somewhere around here. And it changes, it automatically detects what kind of colors that we're looking to change, and it realizes it's cyan. And it gives us these values here. So this is the feather of the values, right? And this is how quickly, this other line is how quickly those transfer, or how smoothly they transfer between those values. We have all our cyans, which includes a little bit of green as well. We can get this transfer. But what we're going to do is we're going to try to move it pretty far to the left or the right so we can see the extreme of this change. And this color, because we got red in the background, I actually liked using green for this. And we can really dial in these settings. So if you look right down here, you can see the top is what the color was, right? And then what it will become, right? So that changes as we move this slider. And of course we can change the saturation so we can get it down to nothing. We can get it down to crazy blown out if we would like. We can bring it down. Obviously we can change all these colors, but of course getting those values here cleans up that selection. And then of course if you have too much selected, or you're getting a little bit of the background clipping, you always have a layer mask here. So you can always come and paint out the parts that you don't want it to be changed. So looking at an image like this, we notice that in the highlights and a lot of the reflective materials, we end up catching the reds of these trees. And so naturally, this is what happens, right? So we're going to get the reflection and the hue of these trees in these particular angles and this particular car, right? And the properties of these materials. However, if we so wanted to, we could specifically adjust the highlights and so forth as we wanted. So I went ahead and selected the reds in the car, and then I painted out the car so it's only the car, or painted out the background so it's only the car in the layer mask. And I went ahead and adjusted the colors, and I also wanted those highlights to be green just because why not? See, we can do what we want. And there you go. Like for example, we even got our highlights to be green as well. If that's more pleasing to you, or you like the way that looks better, or you just want to do all kinds of crazy stuff. All right, so in the future after this and going forward, you can also start thinking about this. I will go ahead and show you some of the extended applications of this. So one of the things in Photoshop that you're always trying to do, or one of the common things that you're trying to do, is you're trying to make composites in which you take different images and you place them together to create a whole new image. And while you're going through that process, sometimes you need to adjust the lightness and the values of some other image or other asset that you're pulling into the other composite image. And you need to change the colors or match it to the environment. One of the things that the tools that you're going to be trying to use a lot, of course, are going to be these select tools, where you select a color range, sampled colors, and or highlights, shadows, midtones. And you select those things and change those values. And of course, you'll select those out, you'll give it a little bit of a feather, and you'll go ahead and create layer mask on those adjustment layers, such as hue, saturation, or color balance, or brightness and contrast, and levels and curves. And with each of those tools, after you've made those selections, you can finally select and change those values such that they start fitting into other photos better. That's why showing you, at least with these colors, of course, is sometimes when you're compositing something, you find, like for example, why I showed you the highlight thing, maybe in another image, all of your highlights would actually be green, but because you pulled this car from this very red background and you put it into a green background, it wouldn't make any sense. You can go ahead and actually find those highlights and change those specific colors, right? So now that your highlights in your car would fit better with that other background. And of course, once again, I'll show you that in the future, but for now, this is just the color adjustment tutorial. Go ahead and start thinking about those other things and maybe try some experiments yourself. Give this a go and tell me what you think. If you have any other further suggestions of Photoshop or Lightroom or Illustrator Premiere, whatever. You name it, go ahead and leave those in the comments, and I'll try to make a tutorial for you. All right, so we got it this week. We got some awesome Modern Warfare. We got some Halo, and we got a Photoshop tutorial. Once again, if there is a suggestion on something that you would like me to do, a game to play, or a music to make, a tutorial on Photoshop or After Effects or something like that, let me know. A project I can work on and show you. Drop that in the comments. Let me know, and I'll probably end up making it for y'all. I'm a small channel right now, so I can usually do a lot of the things in the comment sections that you guys might ask for. But hopefully in the future, we can get it where a lot of people have to vote on one thing to get that done. So to help me get there, yo, I'm going to give you the YouTube spiel. You know how it goes. You hit that like, you hit that subscribe, and you hit that bell icon too. Sometimes I know that I don't upload as consistently, but with that bell icon, they'll send you that notification. Make sure the notifications are on. They'll send you that notification that my video has dropped. So if I upload a little bit later, or maybe a day later, sometimes that does happen because I'm lazy, you'll get it, and you'll know when it came out. So there's no question, and you can get that content and enjoy. Once again, have a wonderful week. Enjoy the future and enjoy the little things. And I'll see you later. See you next time. Yeah. Peace.